Uh, Professor Zink, as a matter of fact, is really interesting because uh, 20 years ago or 25 years ago, you please correct me, dear Inderjit. Uh, Inderjit Zink is one of the founders of one of the first unicorns of the world. He was the director of Texas Instruments. He's a technology personality at the end of the day. And after making a unicorn, he was invited naturally by the political environment of the country, Singapore, to benefit from his knowledge as a parliament member. And he was parliament member for 20 years. The country didn't leave you in Inderjit. And he is now chairing the corporate venture initiative of the Nanyang University in Singapore. And Nanyang University is one of the leading brands in the technology education in the world. He is also the board member of WBAF, and he is chairing the Global Startup Committee of the WBAF. And he is going to lecture in the business school, his unique course, because he developed this course for entrepreneurs and startups who want to make a fast business transformation under pandemic times. I think it is very important. So let's hear from you, Inderjit. Who is this course for? Why are you inviting me to join your course? I am a startup. I am an entrepreneur. I will establish my business, but I have also another business I established before. So I want to benefit from your course, Mark, two different ventures. One of them is already established. The other one I will establish. Floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, Baibas. Yeah. So now, in addition to politics, like Baiba mentioned, I actually spent many years starting my companies, and the first one was a unicorn semiconductor company that was listed on the Singapore Stock Exchange. And then I went on to start another one that was Silicon Valley based, and it was located HQ in Singapore and a few other places. And I've invested in many companies, and I continue to. In fact, I've also started a company that does in business in 38 countries in Africa. I'm still overseeing that business right now. So what I did, over the years, based on my experience, I brought this to politics to try to change the policies to make Singapore more entrepreneurial friendly for startups and small and medium enterprises, because I had experience and I saw the difficulties, and so I spent a lot of time in parliament. So I also do, I've done many policy initiatives in government that help startups and small and medium enterprises. In fact, on the 2nd of January, I'm teaching a new course at Nanyang Technological University. This is entrepreneurship policy. And I've gathered, all the ideas on policy that can be very useful for future courses. But anyway, for what I did some years ago, based on my experience, I wrote a book called The Art and Science of Entrepreneurship. And this captured the journey I took. But more importantly, it's not just a journey. I distill all my practical experiences of an entrepreneur, and I made it into theory so that I can use that to impart knowledge and teach future entrepreneurs on how they too can create successful startups. I'm very fortunate for the startups that I run myself, which are few. All of them are highly successful, and I've invested in, I think, maybe about 20 to 25 startups over the last 15 years, and I've also seen the issues that startups face. And not every one of them has been successful. So there are many failures too. And so I've learned from all of these, and I've captured this and put it into my book. So the course that I'm going to teach down here, business transformation, is really accumulation of my experiences and also the research that I've done, on the areas that I put in the course material. And This I basically started teaching at the Nanyang Technological University for the master's program on technopreneurship. It's called Masters of Science in Technopreneurship and Innovation. And so these are most of my students in this course are either first-time entrepreneurs. Many of them are mid-career business professionals who want to know about entrepreneurship and are thinking of starting businesses. Some of them are second and third generation business owners. So their family parents may have started companies, small and medium enterprises, and they want to now look at how they can transform their businesses. So this course is really targeted at three groups. One are aspiring entrepreneurs who want to start a business for the first time, or professionals who are thinking of making that transformation. And the third are small and medium enterprise owners, business owners, who want to pivot and transform their business models. And given the COVID situation, the disruption that we are seeing today, many businesses have to pivot and transform their business models. And these are the kind of things that I teach in this course. But also, for me, entrepreneurship is a matter of mindset. So I don't just teach students who want to be entrepreneurs, but I teach anyone who wants to think like an entrepreneur. So you can do anything in life. You can continue, you can be a school teacher, you can be working in government, or you are working as an employee somewhere. For me, entrepreneurship is the way you think. And so I also cater this course for people who just want to know and want to be able to think and do things like entrepreneur. So my course content will start with very simple things about, and I call it the art of entrepreneurship. And art basically refers to the mindset, how to think like an entrepreneur, how to behave like an entrepreneur. What are examples, learn from the people who have done it, people like Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, and so on. So I've got examples like this. Then, once you have an idea, how do you transform that idea into a business model, and then a business model into a business plan and start a business? Most companies fail because most startups fail because they fail to transform the idea into a business. That is the most difficult part. And so I spent a lot of time talking about in this course about how to transform an idea, all the steps that you have to go through, business model canvas, setting up a business model, and all the tools that you can use to transform your idea into a business. Then, I also talk about one portion about how do you identify opportunities? What are the gaps? Opportunity identification, how to think innovatively. I talk about creativity too. So this will be, another portion that I cover in the course. And finally, I added this quite recently, and I taught it in the university too. It's about how to survive a very challenging time. And I use the COVID-19 as a base, but I make reference to the Great Depression of 1929, the past recessions, and I teach about coming up with a master plan for survival. So for entrepreneurs, survival is very important. And basically, I've got one whole course in this module to talk about surviving. And then, I will get the students to make a presentation, give them a project and make a presentation. So roughly, this is, the content of my course, so it's meant for quite a wide cross-section of people, not just entrepreneurs, but professionals, business owners, SMEs.
Do you think we now as entrepreneurs need an extra skill to overcome with the COVID issue, for example, with the environment, with the challenges of pandemic times? Do you think, yes, business plan is important, but now I think we should start talking about the business transformation plans too. And your course, I think, will be helpful also to prepare the business transformation plan for entrepreneurs.
Yes. So you are right, Bypass. That's why I tailored the course to help companies transform. And one of the concepts I share with my students is that, when you are facing challenges like what we are facing today, we have to go back to start thinking like an entrepreneur. The day that the entrepreneur started the company, you go through many challenges. You go through a lot of, you went clear a lot of obstacles before you create success. So I actually I'm focusing a lot on transforming business model for existing businesses too. And how do you do it? How do you spot the opportunities? What are the tools that you can use to help you transform your business model, pivot your business? So these are the kind of things I also cover in this course.
Um, you are one of the founders of a unicorn. It moved very fast. For example, one of our senators at the WBAF lives in Niger. And when he saw me in Istanbul in the Congress, he came to me and said, "Hey, I know this person from TV." He said, "In Niger." I said, "How?" Because his company, I'm not sure about the name, Solar Energy or something like this. Your company is very active in Niger and not Nigeria, Niger in Africa, and always on TV, some commercials, etc. So, what do you see? I mean, from Africa to Asia to Silicon Valley, you know the global entrepreneurial ecosystem in Inderjit. What are the basic differences between different entrepreneurs of different regions?
Yeah.
Or can we develop a common mindset, a global mindset, which will always give a fruitful result for all entrepreneurs? I am from Africa or Latin America or North America, no problem. But if you follow that way will take you to the same result. Is there, what's your comment?
Yes. So, very interesting. In 2013, I spoke at the United Nations General Assembly, and there was a conference going on sustainable development through entrepreneurship. So I was one of the keynote speakers at the United Nations. Then there were many countries that presented their issues and their problems, and I was very pleasantly surprised to hear whether it was Australia, USA, Zimbabwe, Ghana, or Eastern Turkey, every one of them were talking about the same issues. What are the issues they face in promoting entrepreneurship, and what are the issues the startup face? For example, rules and regulation, funding, financing their startups, and tools that they need, empowering women, and so on. So the good news is that entrepreneurship is a common language that is relevant no matter which part of the world you come from. And I think this will be an excellent tool for us to bring the world closer together. And so I'm present in Niger, and I have my own brand of products that I do distribute in Niger, and I've got my own company in Niger. I also have 13 companies in different parts of Africa. So Burkina Faso, Kenya, Uganda. And so I've been in all over Africa, and I find it not difficult to do business in these places because of the common issues, my experience that I already have in other part of the world. And going into Africa, I know exactly what to expect, what to do. And I started, for example, e-commerce platforms in some countries in Africa, Senegal, and Kenya. So my point is that actually it is going to be a common denominator, entrepreneurship, and this is something that the World Business Angel Forum Business School can actually help bring everyone from around the world, and then make it easier for us to do business together.
In generally, uh, I mean, African entrepreneurs are very active. They want to learn more than others. This is what I observe. They are very active and they are very ready to learn. Uh, I mean, and you have many businesses in Africa, and you have established companies in different countries of Africa. What is your advice to African entrepreneurs? I mean, how they can create global success stories more easily.
Yeah. So I think it's important that two things. One is acquire the tools, the skill sets that you need create businesses that can, especially how you can bring technology into your businesses. And it's not difficult to acquire technology to improve your business processes and your business models. So I think it's important that you acquire the right skills and the right tools for you to be able to do business in effective way. The other one, of course, is networks. The world is a lot more connected, and it's important that our African entrepreneurs join global networks that will help them bring solutions that they may not be able to find in their countries, but they may be able to bring from other parts of the world. And this is something that I would encourage them to do. And today it's not difficult to build the networks around the world. And this is something that I think all of us can focus on.
I think African entrepreneurs should find a way to benefit more from the diaspora of Africa, because African diaspora is also very powerful,
Yes.
from the United States to Europe, to everywhere in the world, and this is a great opportunity for them. Maybe they can governments, for example, may develop some policies how to engage the diaspora of their countries with the entrepreneurial local entrepreneurial ecosystem.
Yeah. And
Uh,
also, I think to attract attention from the diaspora that's in US and other parts of the world, and also maybe other potential investors, is to transform your business into something that will be attractive. So there may be traditional businesses that can be use technology or innovative models to be transformed into very attractive business. And a very simple example is how Uber transformed a taxi business. Taxi is a very old business, but with the adoption of algorithms and technology, they transform it. So similarly, there will be many businesses like this. If you can make yourself a bit more attractive, then you can attract the attention of potential investors who will be willing to invest in your companies, even in Africa.
by the way, we are talking about Africa, but I mean, Africa in many countries, Africa is not a cheap ecosystem, by the way. I mean, hotel industry, for example, it is not cheap. I see prices are more than the European hotels in some countries. So there are good opportunities in Africa, and I don't believe the main challenge of Africa is lack of resources, but I think the main challenge is developing a global mindset to develop the correct business models. And your course will be very instrumental in that way too.
Yeah.
I think we have a question here. What is the most difficult part in teaching of entrepreneurial mindset?
Yeah. I think that's why my book is called Art and Science of Entrepreneurship. The art is what I mean by very abstract. So the mindset things are very abstract things to understand. For example, I have one chapter in my book called Thinking with the Heart and Not with the Head. Entrepreneurs, have a lot of intuition, gut feel, and so it looks like, it's not logical to some people, but it's very logical to the entrepreneurs. So this is something that I think is difficult to teach, but through examples and through what I said, I've converted my practice, my way of whatever I practice into a theory. So I managed to put some of these things into a theory of how to teach about the mindset and about the thinking process. And so it is difficult, but it's not impossible, especially coming from someone who have done it before, who have gone through the journey. And I think that becomes a lot more easier for people like me and others who have done it before to be able to teach to people who want to know more about this.
Your course is for individual entrepreneurs, but I think your course will also be very instrumental and helpful to the business transformation of companies. I mean, companies, institutions can also benefit from your course, I think.
Yes. So that's why I mentioned that I have actually students who attend my course in the university are also professionals who are working for companies. Some of them are business owners, who want to come and transform their business models. So it's not just for entrepreneurs who are starting companies, but existing businesses, even people who want to learn how to think and do things like entrepreneurs from big companies too can actually attend this, just to gain that skill sets and understanding of how to, how to think and do things like entrepreneur.
A personal question to you. When you decide to come to a market, establish a company in a new country, because you establish in Uganda, in Kenya, in Senegal, in Niger, also in Europe, I think you have also some companies, and also in Singapore. So what is the most important criteria about the country? I mean, is there anything that, okay, business is good, but I cannot do business here? I mean, what are the most important issues for you while deciding for a market?
Yeah, I think the first important thing that I look for is that to spot the opportunity. That well, is there a real opportunity, and how do you spot the opportunity? And in fact, that's one of the things that I teach in my course about spotting opportunity recognition, and I use many examples in the course that I teach on that. So I think, if let's say there's a real opportunity, then you have to identify the right people to work with, partners on the ground to work with, and then understand the local operating. So for me, going all the way to some of these African countries, the local knowledge was not easy. So actually establishing the network on the ground to be able to understand how to navigate and how to successfully start a business down there. So I start with, if I spot the opportunity, then I look for the right partners, and then put in the resources and spend enough time to build a proper business model that is adapted to the local culture. Because I cannot bring a Singapore style of business model in straight away and run it into a place like Niger. So I need to understand the local culture, and then adapt my business model to be able to succeed in that environment. So in any part of the world, so I do a business in China too, and in other parts of Southeast Asia. So the lesson I learned, there are 55 countries in Africa. Every one of them have a own local unique conditions, and I cannot apply what I work in one country or another. So I have to adapt the business model everywhere that I go.
Yeah. So investing in the country means investing in the right team, I think, for you. This is important. So investing in the right team and invested by the right team. What about Inderjit, the entrepreneurs? What should entrepreneurs expect from their investors? Only money? I mean, they should only
No, no.
expect money from the investors.
Yeah. Well, I think the most important thing is smart money, not just money. And what does smart money means? Means that the investors who are going to invest in you will be able to help you in many areas. So bring the networks to the table, bring the connections, maybe fill the gaps that you do not have. Many a times I've seen people who raise startups who raise money from financial investors who have no knowledge or who are not able to help, end up in a disaster. The companies actually end up not moving very far, and because they don't understand each other, they run into issues. In one of my chapters in my book, I have one chapter called "Your Stars Must Be Aligned If You Want to Succeed." So one of the stars that must be aligned is you must have the right investor with the right frequency. Because I've seen many a times when things go bad, investors and the entrepreneurs end up quarreling and fighting, and that kills a company. So having the right entrepreneur who has got right frequency, understands the domain, the business that you are in, and also can help you with the networks that can increase the chances of success, customers, suppliers. I think that's a lot more important than just the financial money. And I believe that if you have come up with a good business model and you have a good team, you will be able to find the right money, the smart money.
Yeah, exactly. I think participants can visit the website of the school, and you can go to contents part on the main page, on the upper menu, and find Professor Singh's course in the business transformation course part. And please download it and read more about the content of the course. The course, I think, will be Inderjit videos you produced personally, and you will also teach online some parts of the course every week. So go to registration part to learn the course price. And if you have any questions, please go to help part and ask your questions. You can also find Inderjit Singh in the LinkedIn and directly ask to him. So dear Inderjit, anything else you want to add?
No, okay. I think that's all. I look forward to the students who come and attend my course. Just one thing that so my course structure is I actually have so because we have different time zones, so I've pre-recorded the lectures. But every lecture, I come back and I do a session with the students, interactive sessions, and then I have some class exercises that you will do in teams, and then and I give you a project to do, and then come and present so that you from there from the presentation I can understand whether you gain the experience. So I wish everyone the best. Thank you for listening in.
Yes, Inderjit, thank you very much for joining the WBA Business School and letting the participants of the school benefit from your know-how. Thank you very much again.
Thank you.